So I'm here with Tim. Tim is
Hello.
the producer of Sigils.
Yep.
And also the VP of Gameforge of new products. Is that
Correct.
right?
That is correct.
We'll get it in an Aston.
Yeah, that's great.
And you're going to take me through Sigils. And you're going to teach me about the game. We're going to have a bit of chat about it as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, super.
I'm looking forward to it.
I've already entered my name,
Yep.
Ducks, which is proper for the spriteyducks.
All right, there you go.
So, for those who don't know, can you just give us a quick overview of what Sigils is?
So Sigils is a real-time combat game, a hybrid mashup of action RPG and MOBA for the iPad exclusively. We're launching it on the iPad, but the cool thing about it is it allows players to play with and against each other at the same time. So if you want to meet up with some friends and bash monsters and win gold and loot, you can do that. If you want to get online and compete in one-on-one or three-on-three PvP, you can do that. If you want to jump back and forth between both, you can do that. We really let players who like this kind of content play any which way they want.
Amazing. So I've just gone straight in and started stabbing things.
Yeah, exactly. We have a short tutorial experience in the beginning that tries to give players an easy way to experience the core mechanics of the game, and then little by little introduce more depth and complexity over time. And this is kind of the entry-level experience before you will enter the game world for the first time. So you're playing a character named Tarkin. He's one of our tank characters, and you're learning about his classic tank abilities. He has a 360-degree swipe, so he does a lot of damage to enemies around him. He has a charge that allows him to close distance between him and his enemies. He has a taunt that heals him a little bit and then draws all the enemies into him and controls the aggro. And then his ultimate ability is a damage prevention shield that shields him as well as his allies.
And I've just done all of those to help my friend out.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we're doing right away. We have you play with some AI bots because we want to reinforce that while you can play Sigils solo, the game is optimized for multiplayer experience.
Excellent. And so this is definitely a game to play with friends, then?
Yeah, either friends that you already have or friends that you can meet through the game.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about, because you can both play PvE and PvP with Sigils. So how does that work out? Because obviously some games are often weighted one to the other.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. You know, I would say it's a pretty even balance right now. I mean, you can progress, you can gain experience and gold and loot through either path at this point. You know, the game really feels very different. I mean, the co-op play and taking out enemies is very fun and very deep. It gets very difficult the deeper you go. But you know, the PvP experiences can be, you know, incredibly intense. Like we had a couple matches here earlier today where it came down to the wire. We started out 3-on-3, and then by the end it's like 1 versus 1 with both a sliver of health. Like we both have the knife at each other's throats, and you know, it's only like one last little bit that decides who wins and who loses, and you know, that's, you know, equally as intense. So for me, you know, I'm the kind of player that likes both, and I like jumping back and forth between both. And I'm really excited about this game because up to now there's been, on mobile devices, a heavy bias towards PvP only. And while PvP I think is important, particularly for long-term retention in games, like having the opportunity to bring a really deep and rich PvE experience is something that we're very excited about.
Awesome, excellent. I'm having a great time at the moment. And I'm just playing the tutorial, but
Exactly.
It's really satisfying. And also quite challenging, actually.
Yeah, what we tried to do is create an experience where, you know, the touchscreen controls, you can pretty much get in right away. You can start moving, you can start doing damage, but, you know, over time, the more you play, like using your abilities in good combinations, not just within your own character, but within your other party members, is really the key to, you know, victory or defeat. You know, like it's very important, like when you're playing Tarkin, like later on when you're playing in, you know, either PvP or PvE, where the complexity gets and difficulty goes up, saving that damage prevention shield to use it at the exact right time is like of critical importance, because, you know, it can really be the difference between like death and life. You know, so
I think I'm just spamming it at the moment, and it's already come to my detriment.
exactly.
So how long have you been working on Sigils?
Well, we started literally, you know, I've been in the games business a long time. You know, I don't want to say how long because I don't want anyone to know how old I really am. But I've been around a while, and you don't get very many opportunities in this business to go from a blank sheet of paper to a shipped product, and that's one of the experiences that we've had here with Sigils. So we started with a whiteboard and a dry erase marker in January of 2012, and literally spent the first 6-7 months with just a couple people working it out all on paper. You know, we started with very different ideas, and then we narrowed it down. We talked about games that we were experienced, but we also looked out into the future because, you know, even now, right now, the mobile market's dominated by asynchronous games, and to do a synchronous game was pretty bold.
Right.
And we took a risk. We kind of reasoned that the internet infrastructure was going to be there, the hardware was really going to improve, so that delivering a quality synchronous game experience was going to be viable by the time we shipped. So it was really exciting. So we've been working at it a long time, but in the very beginning it was really a small number of people really trying to plan things out on paper before we started bringing in like the engineering team and the artists to start actually building out the game.
So I've just got to the point where I can choose my first champion.
Yeah, so what you do here is, you know, we had you play Tarkin, but at this point, we don't force you to necessarily take Tarkin. If you were like, hey, you know, I much prefer a damage dealer, or I want to play a healer, or what have you, we give you that opportunity. So you can either stick with Tarkin, or you can go and pick another character. So Dakota's a range character. Now what happens here is, we give you another set of choices. You could go in and try her out again to validate that you're making the right choice, or you could just choose her right away and launch into the game world and have her be your first free champion.
So I might just have a look at the others while we're here.
Yeah, exactly. So Orica is pretty cool. One of the things, once we decided to do animals in the game, I fought very long and hard to have a playable koala, because I think koalas are cool. It's probably on the top 10 most popular animals in the world, and I've never seen one as a playable character, and she's really cool because she's a healer, but she's got a couple of really devastating offensive abilities, and if you decide to accent her in that direction, she can actually be a very formidable offensive opponent.
Great. I don't quite think I'm going to go with the cool koala just yet.
That's okay.
Because I don't want
You know what? I'll pick the cool koala.
Nice,
And I'll
there we
be
go.
the cool koala.
Because I don't want to have other people's lives in my hands. Because it's not going to go well for them.
Okay, great.
I think we've got Lysander, who we met.
Yep.
It's a bit of a spell slinger.
Yep. Classic
magic.
fire mage, but he's got some really devastating abilities.
And
Vincent's melee damage dealer, and he's really, because he's a vampire bat, he's obviously all about life leech, so his abilities are around doing damage and gaining health.
Great. I actually think I am going to go with Dakota.
Okay, great.
Let's choose my
Choose
first
her,
one.
yeah. And then one of the things we do right away is we give you a welcome gift, of course.
Amazing.
And the welcome gift is introduces you to our gear system. So what you can do right away is we take you, prompt you to the inventory. And this is where you can start to see right away, you're going to get gear in this game, so you can take that piece of gear and slot it into that square slot there, yep.
Right.
And right away, it's a flesh cleaver, so you start out with attack, power, and physical life leech.
Right, and I can also strengthen this as well.
Yeah, you can. So this is one of our areas where I was talking about the monetization system, where you can choose to pay with your time or money. So you can already, right away, you could strengthen that sigil by paying with the in-game currency or the premium currency. Or you can elect to do it later. It's at your option.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning. So Sigils is a free-to-play game.
Yep.
And you've just gone over how the currency works.
Yeah, gold is what you earn from playing the game. Our gems are what you can purchase with hard currency.
And do you think you can play as much as you want without having to spend money on it, or is it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, here, go to the shop. And you can see here, everything in the game, for the most part, if we go here to the champions page, has two prices.
Right.
So it has an in-game currency price and a premium currency price. So you can pay with your time or your money. So as you can see, every single champion we offer in the game can be acquired for free. The other important thing is gear. All the gear in the game can be acquired for free if you so choose. But as you can see, there's a lot to do. So unless you've got unlimited amounts of time, you know, you're probably going to want to spend a little bit of money, you know, to maximize your playtime experience. And then there are some things though that are premium only. Skins are premium only, and then the boosters that allow you to accumulate more experience in gold over time, which you know we think is logical. Exactly.
So you still have to kill things and do well to get those.
Exactly, but again, it's like the way I sort of look at it is, you know, when I was younger and I was in college, you know, I would be willing to skip a class or two to play my favorite game. So time was more of a resource that I had available to me than money. Now I have 2 kids, a wife, a job, and I still love to play video games, but you know, having the option to pay a little bit of money so that I can keep pace with the community and be competitive is really helpful to me, because time is a more precious resource for me now than money.
Excellent, I agree as well. I like to jump right in there and don't necessarily have the hours of the day because of work and life.
Yeah, and we want to make it possible for, if you want to be competitive in Sigils, you can pay a little bit of money and, you know, still have a fair shot, you know?
Absolutely. So obviously I saw a little bit there. We're entering the lobby. Is that right? So you just explain
we call it the Nexus.
Nexus.
So what we're doing here, it's essentially a hub and spoke system. So this is a hub that we cluster you in. And one of the things that we felt was really important is that you feel like when you come to play Sigils, you're being whisked off to another world, because that is really the illusion that RPGs are supposed to sell. So that's why we felt it was really important that when you log into the game, you're seeing other players, like visually, you can interact with them, because you should feel like you're being whisked off to another world. So it's a window on another world.
And I've just been invited to a group.
Yeah, that's, a player in the hub right now has invited you to a group, so you can accept or decline.
So are you in the hub?
I'm in the hub, so what I will do, you can decline that.
As nice as that was, I might just say no to that. And
so
see
this,
if we can...
but this proves that this is live code. So I will invite you to a group. My name is, there we go. There you go.
Van Man.
Join.
The cool koala comes back.
And now
again.
the other thing we can do right away is you can upgrade your character.
So I'm going to click
champions have 18 levels that they can, each champion can be leveled up to level 18. Their levels are persistent, and every time you level, you get to apply a skill point to one of their abilities.
Do you have a recommendation of what would be good for Dakota to play?
Well, I love the bomb. She has this grenade where when you toss it, it does damage, but it also blows enemies back. So if you throw it in front of enemies, it'll blow them back. If you throw it behind them, it can blow them towards you. So it's pretty cool.
All right, I think that sounds good. So I'm gonna upgrade.
So what I'm gonna do, I'll play the classic healer. I'll upgrade my single target heal so that I can keep us up.
And then we've got the attribute screen here.
Yeah, the attribute screen is something later when you get deeper into the gear system. You can buy gear and then look at the attributes to see how the gear is affecting your statistics, to see if you're getting the kind of performance from your gear configuration that you want.
Amazing. So I think, unless I need to do anything else, jumping into some action.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds like a good idea.
So go ahead and there's several ways that you can get into the action. You can hit the play button.
All right.
And that takes you to our world map, and our world map does several things.
Cool.
One is, you can sort of see on the left side of the world, that's our PvE progression.
Right,
And you can see here, you have to, grind up this level here before you can start to unlock another one. And then of course we have our PvP over on the right. So why don't you start with the PvE?
Down here.
And what we could do is we could go into the matchmaking and try to pick up a third player, but why don't you just hit the private button and we can go in as 2. I think we'll be okay. So then what you see here is there's our group on the left side. On the right side, we get a glimpse at some of the enemies we'll be facing. And then over here, this is our dungeon progression indicator. We're going to have 2 normal combats leading up to a boss fight. So there'll be a total of 3 fights.
So I think we should get in and let's kill these larvae, because we don't want them to hatch.
Nope. We want to stomp some bugs.
Oh, so it's coming. See, oh wow, it's coming from everywhere.
Yep.
So I am a ranged character, so I don't want to get too close to anyone.
That's okay. I'll heal you.
Thank you. And let's test out this bomb. Oh yeah, see what I mean. We've got the howl.
I can snare, so I'll lock them in place, and you can sit there and.
Oh, sorry. What I'm doing is blowing the enemies towards you there.
Oh, that's
not
okay.
Fantastic
I can
idea
handle
to
it. I can handle it.
Nice. The koala is unfazed.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Here we go. And triple shot.
She's like the badass grandma.
I'm gonna put this guy behind.
Alright, I'll snare that guy.
Let's just try it.
Alright.
I feel that was a little aggressive. I just unloaded a whole sort of shotgun shell in his face.
Yeah. She's all about the guns and the bombs.
So, in terms of designing this sort of arena combat, what were the sort of challenges that you had to go through, and what were you really proud to sort of make happen?
Well, in the beginning, one of the things we were very influenced by were games at the time, like Battleheart was a game that we were very influenced by. And we tried to, in the beginning, we had the ambition of like locking everything to one screen and allowing players to play more than one character. But over time, we kind of moved away from that. We wanted to go to more of a scrolling capability so that it opened up the play space. And we wanted the individual characters to have a bit more depth and complexity. And once we made that decision, controlling multiple characters really became like too much of a burden on the player. So we zeroed in on players playing one character, but we opened up the play space and started, like, we can pretty much scroll endlessly left to right. And we really felt like over time that was the right fit for the kind of game that we were wanting to make, but it wasn't what we set out to do. We kind of iterated and felt our way there.
Yeah, you've definitely got to. I can feel this game getting quite difficult and quite intense.
Yeah.
Already.
But the cool thing about it is, like, we factored that into, so, you know, we finished that first combat in about a minute, the second combat in a minute. So what we're trying to do is create 3 to 5 minute experiences of intensity, and then you can take a break. You know? So you can go away or you can do it again. It's up to you. But that's what we feel is like a better rhythm for mobile games, where PC games are more like, no, I'm ready to sit down and like go for 45 minutes or an hour or something, where we're trying to create the opportunity where you can have fun in 5 minutes, but if you want to, you can stay for 5 hours. It's up to you.
Yeah. So just so many gunshots into that slug.
Oh, there we go.
They're still coming.
I'll nail them. There you go. And I'll slow them down with my vortex.
So you've got lots of different varied and really well designed characters as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the sort of the variety that you have within that?
Yeah, so that was something, the champions are really the stars of our game. They're the reason why people will play the game. They drive our monetization. And so we spent a lot of time, and every champion has an auto attack plus 4 unique abilities that are unique to that champion. And we really wanted to make sure that when you're playing a ranged champion, it plays and feels very different than a melee champion, than a supporter champion. So we have 20 champions in the game right now, and we're really proud of them. And you know, they all feel really different, and you know, we think really cool. And it's something we worked really hard at, because getting the right feel for the champions and the right diversity was very, very important. And we feel that, you know, it's important for the long-term success of the game as well.
So who's your favorite?
Right now, we were talking about this earlier, I'd say the champion I play the most is the alligator. And he's got, you can either play him as like a melee damage dealer or as a pure tank. He's got this spear that you can throw that does damage and pulls people to you. He's got a bite that stuns an enemy as well as heals you a little bit. He's got a dash that he can do 2 dashes inside of 10 seconds, and then his ultimate is this 360-degree tail swipe that knocks all enemies up into the air. So it's really, really cool.
I feel like you're the kind of guy who plays all out aggressive.
With him, I do. I really like him, but you know, like I said, I love the koala. I think she's really cool. She can be deceptively offensive, as well as, you know, vital to healing your group and keeping them alive. So I'll grab Slimer right there, hold him down for a minute.
We've got a boss fight going on at the moment. So I've got these pickups that have been dropping as well. Do you want to explain how they work?
So we currently have 3 power-ups that drop in the in various arenas. One is a little healing cross that gives you a little bit of health back. We have a red sword that temporarily boosts your auto attack. as well as some winged feet that temporarily buff your movement speed. And we feel like, you know, we wanted to give something that gave the game a little bit of an arcadey feel to it and give players something that could maybe get them out of a jam if they get into a little bit of trouble. So we thought that that was a fun thing to have in the game as well.
So we've just defeated our first dungeon together.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
Yeah, great job.
What sort of things do we get for obviously we've got this sort of end
So what you
screen.
do is the game, whenever you're in a combat, you always get 2 flavors of experience plus gold.
Right.
You get the 2 flavors of experience are, one is your experience for the champion that you're playing, the active champion, and then you get experience for your avatar. You're the traveler. You've been summoned to the world of Rios to help the champions in their hour of need. And what the avatar experience does is that unlocks the gear system. So every time you level up your avatar, you unlock a gear slot, and that gear slot applies the gear to whatever champion you're controlling at that moment in time. And then of course champions go from level 1 to 18, so the more champions you play, the more you can level up your champions. Then you get gold, which is the in-game gold, and then for beating bosses, not every time, but sometimes bosses will drop loot.
So that was Sigils, and you'll be able to get your hands on it soon, so keep a lookout. If you liked our content here, make sure you check out the rest of our channel and like, comment and subscribe. Awesome.